Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this Raw Talking Points video. I actually really enjoyed this show, considering it was a go-home show. Some of the matches I thought were quite fun. The opening match, for example, I thought was really enjoyable. But we had like this story that kind of went throughout the show, all to do with Jey, Jimmy, LA Knight, leading up to our main event. I enjoyed the AJ Lee segment as well. She took her first bump since returning, so let's get straight into it, right? We started here with Stephanie backstage. The reason why I included this is because she was wearing a wrestling is my first language shirt, but it still had the little sticker on. So she must have only just been given this. So there she was walking around with that on, which did make me smile. A couple of people in the background, which you never know if they mean anything, but I doubt they did, right? Joe and Corey were on commentary tonight. I've actually lost track with who to even expect now. I don't even know who we're meant to be getting. So I have no idea if this was a talking point or not, but that is who was on commentary. As well as that, we had Jey and LA Knight kind of bump into each other, run into each other. I did wonder if a match was going to be made, but Adam Pearce was like, just get in my office. We need to get this sorted. Otherwise, you can speak to your bank managers to understand why some zeros are missing from your pay. So, threatening a fine. But we got to the actual show. John Cena came out and a much smaller entrance than usual. We did look, actually, during our watch-along. It's a very small arena. There was only about 7,800 people in attendance, which was about the amount the arena could hold. It wasn't that there was loads of unsold tickets, but it's just quite a small arena. So they did try to get in, obviously, as many people as possible, which meant that we had a much different kind of setup, which I liked. I like varying it up and mixing it up and making it feel a little bit different. So I liked it personally. So John came down and there was a loud F.U. Lesnar chant and a few other chants in there as well. John didn't really say much, so there wasn't really much to unpack here. He was just saying about how he could have turned down Brock, but he's not going to turn down Brock because of the fan support. You know, he's here to represent the people and blah, blah, blah. The rah-rah speech type thing. A bit of a wasted appearance for me. And there's even something here which I'm not a big fan of, which is this line, I am the last real champion. I just think that worked when he was a heel. I don't think that works now that he's a face. So that last real champion, he even had to explain what it meant, and it doesn't work. I mean, he said it's not about being a champion. It's not about being the main event. You know, it's about leaving this business better than you found it. But what's that got to do with being the last real champion? Are you saying that no one else ever again will leave the business better than they found it? It doesn't even make sense. I really hate this line. I do find Cena to be a bit lost sometimes. Like, he comes out and he's trying to find things to say and he's trying to find little angles to get his teeth into. I mean, like, the whole heel turn this year was off. The whole heel run for me was, you know, not the right direction to go. And we're still getting, like, these little things that he's coming out with that just seem a bit off. Some people questioned, why does he still get that second intro? That's like a heel thing. But he did explain that today, and I thought his explanation for that was good. He said, the reason why I've kept the second intro, the reason why we've got that is because I want the world to see your energy. You guys like doing it. You guys enjoy it, and I want the world to see it. That works. That's fine. I can buy that. I just struggle with this personally. Then again, backstage in the office, LA Knight trolled Jey by picking Jimmy as his tag team partner for the main event. So I did think they were going to make these two team up. Thankfully, they didn't. I don't need another can they coexist. But instead, Adam Pearce said, who do you want as your partner if you take on Braun and Bronson tonight? He said he wanted Jimmy. So, and as I said, I kind of like the fact that we had this story weaved throughout the show. I thought that was good. Fact, if John Cena wins this weekend, it will be his 100th PLE victory. He will be second after The Undertaker, which, of course, there's just not enough dates for him to beat The Undertaker. So that's one that he'll finish probably second on. But yeah, I think Cena does win this weekend. I think he will get that record. Opening match, Lyra Valkyria beat Roxanne Perez. I actually enjoyed this match. I thought this match was good. I don't know which one was better. I don't know if it was this one or if it was Stephanie and Kairi, because I really enjoyed that match as well. Both of them, I would say, quite close, actually. So, yeah, I actually thought some of the in-ring tonight was not bad. But this was the big talking point, wasn't it? So, Raquel and Roxanne are beating up on Lyra after... Out comes Bayley. She comes down, helps Lyra, right? And then runs around, starts hugging everyone. Hugs Corey, hugs Joe, hugs Jey. Even people in the front row were getting hugs. I said during our watch along, all of a sudden the amount of money you have to pay to get a front row ticket is totally worth it. If it comes with a hug from Bayley, I don't know that there's any number that's too much. So there we go. So we saw her coming down and, you know, really beating up on Raquel and Roxanne, showing that kind of deadly side of her. And then we saw the hugger sides. I'm really into this. I think this is really fun. I really like what we're doing with Bayley right now. This was good. So we had Asuka and Kairi interrupt as Stephanie and Iyo were backstage, obviously getting ready for their match this weekend. And basically Asuka said, well, before your match with Iyo, you're going to be taking on Kairi. And Kairi was like, what? Was not on board at first, but then was like, okay. She's so entertaining. She's like, honestly, this angel, this pure angel. I flipping love Kairi. So there she is, like, okay, here we go. Getting mentally ready, and that match would be later. LA Knight went to see Jimmy and basically was rejected. He says, no, you're going to have to find someone else. So, as I said, there was this little story that was going throughout the show, which I think we've really missed. We've had a lot of Raws where we have not had that thread kind of going through the show, a story that can keep you around. I actually think this was a big dub for this week's episodes. Then, yeah, look at this. He got a signature from the cameraman. So there we go, trying to get that Destroyer band. So that was during the commercial break, because our next match was Kofi against Penta. This move is sick. Look at this. Bang! Springboard Mexican Destroyer. And look at the sell. Oh my God, so good. Kofi Kingston gives us a new meme, said Fightful. Brilliant sell by Kofi. I thought this match was good. I don't think it was as good as the women's matches that we have mentioned already. But really, the big talking point here is that Kofi now a victim of the Mexican Destroyer. That Destroyer that they keep trying to get banned, right? So he felt that this might be the big talking point from this show. Jey talking to someone, but we don't know who. And I think it was Irish Sam in our watch-along said, what if it was Paul Heyman? What if it was Heyman? Here you can see Roman Reigns, SEN going, is it Roman? Is that who is on the phone to? Him being on the phone to someone and us not knowing who is very, very interesting. Very interesting. Obviously, then he said, listen, you can't partner LA Knight tonight. And Jimmy was like, what? Last time I checked, there ain't no Ula Fala around your neck. Like, who are you to tell me what I'm allowed to do? So now this was causing some tension between these two. But him being on the phone as well, really good. Again, that thread that went throughout this show, really good. Jimmy then went back and said, I'm in. So after a conversation with his brother, Jimmy decided he would partner up with LA Knight tonight. So there we go. He went back and did say, I'm in. I'll partner up with you. And that's because he was not happy with how Jey had spoken to him. Right, then we get to the start of hour 2. I think all of that was in hour 1. So then we get to the start of hour 2, Becky and Seth coming out. And it's like, yeah, man, let's go. Because you know that we're going to be getting AJ Lee. So AJ and Punk both wearing the AJ merch, coming out to AJ's music. Punk would even say, I'm happy to put Cult of Personality to one side and give the platform to this young lady. AJ in jeans, looking fabulous. The crowd chants AJ's husband to CM Punk, and he did not mind that at all, right? That was a point he was making. He was like, we're on the same page. I'm happy to come out to her music. I'm happy to wear her merch. Like, we are united. And he was like, I had to listen to you two goofs playing your own music. I had to listen to both of your rubbish themes. And then he went off on what they were wearing as well, of course. And actually, as this segment was on, Ref Daph tweeted this that I saw. She said, it's not goodbye, it's just see you later. And that obviously got a lot of people concerned. Like, what? What's going on, right? People really love Ref Daph. And she was like, bro, I lost my grandma. Not everything is about wrestling. I mean, you can sort of understand why they thought it was about wrestling. So I certainly can understand why. But, you know, she's obviously suffered a loss. So thoughts very much with Ref Daph there. That drop in during this promo online. Crowd were chanting, no one likes you to Seth. And Becky was like, I like him. I like... Becky... Thank you for reading my book. I did not read yours. So good. I found this segment to be a bit long. Could have been a bit shorter, but some of the stuff that was in there, so good. And this was a great moment as well. You can see. So basically, just to tell you what had been... Look at his face. He doesn't know what's about to come. So what had been said was CM Punk's got a habit of leaving when things let him down. So don't let him down this weekend, AJ. It's a good line, that was. And this was AJ's very thoughtful response. Boom! So good. But what was really good was Becky basically was put in a situation where she was meant to go after AJ now. Steph was like, I can't hit you back, but I know a woman that will. Looked over at Becky, and Becky was like, where is this woman? But it was a trap. It was a trap. So, unfortunately, here, look. The first bump, manhandle. Bang! There it was. The first bump AJ Lee has taken in 10 years. So, Becky walked away. Looked like she was arguing with Seth. But then she ran back in the ring, delivered that, and it was a trap. It was a trap. So, all in all, bit long. Could have cut some waffle out of it. But by and large, I got enough out of that segment to really enjoy it. 2-belt Dom. There he is. 2-belt Dom. We saw him backstage. And then also backstage, Penta being attacked by Xavier Woods. New Day laying out Penta. Probably not a big surprise. They are desperate to get this Mexican Destroyer band. They are horrified that he keeps dishing them out. They have got a Penta problem, but Penta has got a New Day problem. Now, I've not seen this. Let's have a look, see what gets said.
We're always one step ahead. How's she going to respond when she realizes that he put his own well-being ahead of hers, huh?
That's why she the goat, baby.
That's why she the goat. Yeah, what a cut. Then we went to our third match. So here, look, we've got bang! looking lovely right there by El Grande. AJ Styles would come down because we had a second El Grande. He was trying to even the score, but then we had a third El Grande, and that resulted in El Grande getting the win. And of course, we got the classic Spider-Man meme as all the El Grandes were pointing at each other. So Ludwig El Grande, Pete Dunne El Grande, Tyler Bate El Grande, and they're all doing that, which is really good. So, I mean, I'm guessing this is going to be El Grandes against AJ and Dragon Lee, but there's 3 El Grandes. So does AJ and Dragon Lee need a third person? I mean, is this build into Survivor Series? Because that's so far away. This could definitely be a Survivor Series match. Not War Games, but we could do like a Survivor Series match with all the El Grandes. Who knows? They might chuck another El Grande in at some point. Well, in all fairness, we do have Gable El Grande to come back, but I think he's out for quite a while, isn't he? So, but that's another El Grande. So technically, there are 4. But yeah, not sure where the story's going, but obviously one very much to keep an eye on. Then here we had Lyra. She was outside Bayley's dressing room and Bayley was freaking out. So she like knocked on the door, came in. She was like, who are you talking to? And then she just went crazy. She was just like, you idiot. Why do you think you can just walk in here? I mean, 1 minute she's hugging people. The next minute she's lashing out. Oh, it's good. Then we had Rhea approach Stephanie, and she says that she's going to come for whoever wins the Women's World Championship at WrestlePalooza. So Rhea just letting Stephanie know that if she does win that title and get past Iyo, Rhea will be waiting. Then we had Stephanie and Kairi. I really enjoyed this. So there's a show of respect. Kairi looks around as Asuka was horrified. Asuka had a really great face paint on. Her face paint was so good. Look how angry she is at the fact that Kairi would show respect to Stephanie. We got the Devil's Kiss, and then we got the SVB. Now, the finishing move that I remember for Stephanie is where she picks them up and then sort of drives them down into a bit of a kind of shoulder breaker. I mean, I've been very critical of her finishing move. I think it looks rubbish, right? I'm really not a fan of it. This is something that I don't recall seeing. This is where people can be like, oh, she does this all the time, right? But she does not do the move now I was expecting. I mean, look, she's got her up, and rather than like driving her down and doing a shoulder breaker or something along those lines, this is a bit bigger. Bang! I mean, look at that. That is so much better, bigger, more effective, more impressive. Bang! That is much better. So this is where a lot of people might be like, dude, she's always done that, right? But the one I remember is not that. It's more of a shoulder breaker type thing, which I always think just looks so small and just not impressive enough to be a finisher. That, much better, right? So whether I've made a mistake or not, I like that finish. Iyo used the ancient technique. So, yeah, she came down. Iyo came down. She was like, no, because after Stephanie won and Kairi was defeated, Asuka wanted to get in and get her hands on Stephanie. Iyo came down, was like, no, leave her alone. I need her for this weekend. So Asuka then walked away. But you can see she was livid. Absolutely livid. So this was backstage. They were screaming and shouting at each other. Asuka leaves. Look how tired and emotional Kairi is. I mean, she walks away in a second. She has to, like, hobble away. Look, though, she's noticing. She is noticing. She knows that Asuka is not quite right. Kairi deserves an award. Just look at this. So there, look, she's down. Kairi's on! And then there she goes as Asuka calls for Kairi. This is Kairi trying to keep the peace between Asuka and Iyo. She is the best of us. She is the best of us. Right, then we had Judgment Day, right? So Judgment Day were doing a toast to the Mega Champion and the Intercontinental Champ as well. And then it all got a bit heated. Finn really wants to know what's happening with El Grande and ended up storming out. And just as things were looking bad, they got worse because Rusev arrived and he's like, I want to introduce myself. I'm the next Intercontinental Champion. I don't know what's going to happen here, though, because he's a heel. So who are we meant to root for? I mean, I think the fans will be with Dirty Dom. There was a Dirty Dom chant actually tonight. So I think the fans would be with Dirty Dom. But there was a Rusev Day chant here as well. So I don't know. Do you put a third person in as like a babyface? I don't know. This is a bit heel versus heel for me. So, interesting. Then we got to our main event, the fifth and final match. Not a single match tonight getting a great rating from you guys. All of them getting good ratings. Bronson, pinned, Jimmy. But the big talking point after was the fact that Jay came down, chased away the Vision, and then, of course, got hit with a BFT by LA Knight. So, that's how Raw ended. LA Knight takes out Jey Uso. LA Knight left the ring, pointed at Jimmy and said, you're cool, but F your brother. And then just before it came on, Triple H, of course, filmed Kill Tony last week, which aired immediately after Raw. This is doing the rounds, right? So here you can see, is that Carrot Top, who for some reason has put a towel on with a built-in erection, and there is Triple H staring at it. Triple H said he's about to be clipped everywhere on the internet for what he did here. What was bro looking at? Yes. This is going to be an unseen, but he is correct. I am also including it here. So there we go. That was Raw. I honestly really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as well. We'll be back later with an episode of Unseen, maybe more from Kill Tony. And of course, all the news, rumors, reaction, bits like that will be in that video. That'll be up in a few hours' time. But yeah, this was the Raw Talking Points.